So, Anne, it's a saying, you're in the belly of the beast. You're in New York. You live there. What's going on
Yes,
over there?
yes.
What's happening?
Oh, yeah, New York is so boring. What are you talking about? Okay, well, offline, I mean, we were just hearing about the news about, these dispensaries like potentially having to move due to being too close to schools. That is, I've never, I mean, yeah, both you and I probably have been in the industry for a while. I've been in the industry nearly for 10 years, and I've never seen anything like this before happen in any market. So curious to see how it all turns out. In the meantime, though, in New York, so as you know, I'm with BioTrack now, and BioTrack is the official New York seed to sale track and trace system. So we are right in the process of rolling out the seed to sale system, and OCM, the Office of Cannabis Management, they've decided to take a staged approach. So phase one of it is the big milestone, August 1st. All cultivators, ROs, as well as labs and micro businesses, they should be integrated into the seed to sale system. So what that means as a licensee is that by August 1st, you should be using a software solution system that is already fully integrated into BioTrack seed to sale. We just started publishing a list of official third-party software vendors that have passed their integration validation test. So that can be found on the OCM seed to sale page or the official BioTrack New York page too. And then we have, more and more software vendors that are getting validated every day. So be sure to keep your eye on that. So that's the first milestone, though. And
Yeah.
then we've got September and October. So September will be the manufacturers and processors. They need to be integrated into BioTrack. And finally, October 1st will be the retailers that will need to be fully integrated into BioTrack, meaning that whatever point of sale system they're using will need to be successfully integrated.
So is there can you walk me through if I was a cannabis manufacturer, grower, or
Mm-hmm.
even retailer before that date reaches, what should I be doing? How do I set myself up for success?
Yeah, I mean, that is a really good question. So, in terms of the actual workflows and processes, the details will be specific to how your software vendor has chosen to do the integration. So, what we have been doing at BioTrack, so at BioTrack, we have the seed to sale side. We also have our commercial B2B side of things. So, what we've been doing and how we've been supporting our clients is hosting daily webinars. We have support materials. We've been checking in with people. And really, the main difference is that there's just like some processes and flows where it's like, okay, you used to create invoices and manifest this way. Now, those actions will need to be tracked in the seed to sale system. And now with this integration, the flow and the UI might look a bit different. So it's really just partnering with whoever your software vendor is and making sure that you're feeling supported. It's going to be a bit of a process, just getting used to the idea where all your plants will need to be tracked and tagged. And then every time a conversion happens with a plant, whether you're breaking that down into pre-rolls or pre-packs, that action needs to be tracked. And then every time product moves from point A to point B, that will need to be tracked using that unique 16-digit digital ID tags. It's not necessarily a physical tag, it's just like a digital 16-digit number that's unique. And so every time there's an action that happens, every time there's movement in the product, that all is tracked and traced using these unique 16-digit digital ID tags.
And they're getting the unique 16-digit ID tags from their existing vendor, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so there's going to be I guess think of it as, so we do have a BioTrack digital tagging portal, and so that will be centralized. And in terms of the integration, one of the integration points is that the software vendors that are integrated, they will be able to pull those unique digital ID tags into the system. So whenever you're doing an action in your software system, that can be associated with the appropriate unique digital ID tag.
When should, I guess the question would be, when can somebody start leveraging the 16-digit ID tags? Is it on the day that goes live, or can you do it before?
Yeah, so last week, actually, there were a bunch of emails that were sent by the OCM as well as BioTrack with your instructions on how to log in to the digital tagging system. There are some steps to reset your password. We have heard feedback from the industry that, sometimes, so the list of the email addresses that's associated with your license number, sometimes it might have been the email address of your lawyer or your consultant that you may have used when applying and getting a license, and maybe that contact information has not been updated yet. So we've heard feedback that, may have gone, accidentally sent to a consultant and lawyer instead of the actual licensee. So OCM also has steps on how to update your contact information there. And, we've just been working through it. But there's been instructions, there's been emails that have gone out, instructions on how to look and see how many tags you have, how to log in, how to purchase more tags. OCM did a lot, a grouping of tags depending on your license type. So you should have some digital tag credits to use and be on your way before needing to purchase some more.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
so that is on the OCM website as well too. And I believe cultivators, they get 3,400 tags. Let me just check really quick. Yeah. Oh, so 2,500 tags per licensed cultivator, 750 tags per licensed processor, 750 for micro businesses, 750 for distributors, and 3,250 for each RO. So you do have the tag credits, and that it will already be in the digital tag system.
Mm-hmm. And if you need more tags, you buy it from the OCM.
You can buy it just through that digital tagging system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
big
so
changes.
it's pretty straightforward. Again, we also have help documentation on our official New York BioTrack page on how to purchase more tags, how to view your tag count, how to log into the system, reset your password, and if there's any issues when it comes to logins or accessing your system, we do have our BioTrack help email address too that you can contact.
What are the few things that business owners should get right when implementing this new system? I always think about the 80-20 rule, i.e.,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I am sure that as a business owner, you probably have a lot of things on your plate. And this is one project that has just fell on your lap, which, you should have known
Yeah.
about this, but here we are,
Yeah.
How
It's kind
should
of like
somebody
writing a
incorporate?
thesis. It's like, your essay is due in a year. You've got your thesis statement, but then it's like you write your paper the night before.
Here we are, procrastination, right?
Exactly. Well, I mean, that being said, we have been working closely with some cultivators and processors who are already revamping their SOPs. So, I would say the best advice that I would give is that seed to sale is coming. It's here. It's not going away. I know that people, maybe were like, is it really here? No, it's definitely here. And in terms of advice, my number one advice is, related to what you said. It's you can't do it alone. As an owner operator, you're doing all these other things. You're running your business. So you need your team with you. You need the people who are going to be listening in on the training webinars, going through the support materials with your software vendor, like make sure you have your team that's involved who's going to be pushing the buttons and logging into the system, ordering your product, getting the product shipped out. All your day-to-day team members, make sure that they are participating at the very beginning. Because, like I know that owners, they're like listening in on the webinars when they're, driving to do a delivery, right? Like, so it's trying to multitask. You can't do it alone. Like that would be my number one advice. And then number two, if some people are still scouting out like which software vendor to go with. I would recommend that, references are really important. So whoever you end up picking for your software vendor, make sure that they have had experience integrating with the BioTrack seed to sale system. And if they have, just ask for some references. Ask for some references in New Mexico, in Florida, in Connecticut, in any other BioTrack market. And see how that integration is, because not all integrations are created equal. We have some really good software partners that, some of them haven't even integrated into BioTrack before, and they were one of the first ones to pass the validation test. So it's been, we're here to help where we can. And other advice from a retailer standpoint, I would say my number one advice is make sure that you're checking. It sounds really straightforward, but make sure that the cases, like crack open your case at the point of inventory. Make sure the thing that you ordered is actually the thing you ordered at the point of receiving your inventory and not after the fact. Because and I understand this, a lot of folks are doing, it's receiving day. You've got a lineup around the block of deliveries. You're just checking the manifest, counting the cases and saying, okay, but it's not until you're bringing items to the vault and you're opening that case up. Maybe there's mislabeled products. Maybe it's the wrong SKU or the wrong inventory. And currently right now, what you can do is that you might be able to log into your point of sale system, change that manually in the back end and fix everything. You will not be able to do that once seed to sale is fully integrated. It's going now, if you are a retailer, then you are now responsible for, if something is mislabeled, it could be potentially non-compliant product. And all of a sudden that becomes the retailer's problem. Whereas if you catch it at the point of receiving, you have the ability to return it back to the delivery driver and get it sorted right then and there versus after the fact.
That's a really good point, because I'm just thinking through about receiving the wrong inventory. So you've purchased, and it could be that you purchase a packet of, say, 50 milligrams, and then you received 100 milligrams or whatever.
Right.
Same thing, just different size, right?
Right. And mistakes happen. But then it becomes the retailer's problem versus it being able to solve it right at that specific point. And then, some products are mislabeled, or maybe it's a sample pack and it was accidentally thrown in there. And now you're potentially selling non-compliant mislabeled product, and you work so hard to keep that license and have that retail license, so you don't want to put that at risk.
Maybe this is too detailed, and let me know if it is. If that happens, and when that happens, what should a retailer do?
So again, the actual flow will depend on how your software vendor has interpreted it, but on the BioTrack and the all leaves point of sale side, we do have a very straightforward void system, and you can adjust out that inventory and what it actually is, and that action gets sent back to the seed to sale system. So every inventory adjustment, every manifest, that all needs to go through the seed to sale system. Every single sale that's being processed, that is tracked in the seed to sale system. The good news for retailers is that once seed to sale levels out, and once we get past, the training wheels period, let's say, the goal is ideally is to not have those weekly reports that need to be manually submitted to the OCM, because the goal is that all the information that is being automatically sent up to the system through these integrations, that already has all the information in that weekly report. So hopefully we're getting rid of that report.
Yeah.
That's the goal anyways.
Some pretty big changes. Is there anything else that you think a business owner in our industry should really consider as we're rolling this out?
I mean, I would say, like change is always hard, right? Like you can't do it alone. Definitely talk to your peers, even your competitors. Reach out to BioTrack if you need any help on the software side. I would say that, sometimes it can be confusing whether or not, okay, do I reach out to BioTrack for this? Do I reach out to OCM for this? And, just reach out to somebody. And if we cannot help you, like we can point you in the right direction of who can. So I would also say, like, do your homework, right? There are a lot of resources out there. I know it can be overwhelming when you get, like, peppered with a bunch of emails from BioTrack, but, like, read through all the links, actually go through the recordings, read the documentation, and after you're armed with that information and you still have questions, then reach out. I get it. There's a lot of information out there right now. But go through that information first, and then, and if you still have questions, we are here to help. But I would also say, like, do your homework. You got to do your part too.
Yeah. And you can, nowadays with the advent of LLM models, you can probably upload a lot of resources and leverage an LLM to consult you on what the actual rules are and what is it that you really need to do.
Right. Well, also, I mean, like, the other day we were talking about, like, you were working on some really cutting edge and amazing, like, training technology too. So I'm hoping for the day when maybe, the next time we need to train people on seed to sale, that we could use some of these training programs that will make it easier for people to get trained and have a smooth training and integration.
You've been in this industry for a while. What are your thoughts on the status of where people are in our industry when incorporating in new technologies like AI to scale the existing workflows?
I am very excited about this concept, and I think that, people like you and me who choose to be in such a crazy, tumultuous industry like the cannabis industry, I think a part of anyone who's in this industry has, like, something inside them that wants to innovate and push something forward and is perhaps okay with a certain level of uncertainty, and there's opportunities to make things better. Like, I think that that's in the cannabis industry. And I think with AI being, an emerging sub-industry of the tech industry, let's say, like having AI in a still emerging industry like the cannabis industry is really exciting to me. Because again, like, no one can say, oh, this is the best. Like, there's, maybe guidelines on, like, prompting and all that in AI, but no one has, like, invented best practices of how to utilize AI yet. And, best practices are still being evolved in the cannabis industry. So, but to have, like, the two of them together, like, I'm really excited about that opportunity.
Yeah, it's huge. I think it's completely underutilized right now from a personal perspective and then from a agentic workflow perspective in our industry. There's a lot there. I every time I talk to a business owner in our industry, I'm always curious, okay, how are you leveraging this in your personal life, right? When you're solving a problem, when you're learning, do you automatically think, hey, I can supercharge what
I
I'm doing,
do. I
right?
do. It has helped me so much. So I'm, like I I know English obviously, but English is my second language technically. I'm a little bit dyslexic too. So when it came to writing emails, writing a LinkedIn post, even writing an Instagram post, like I would just always be overthinking it. It would just take me so much longer to write something that should take me 10 minutes, because the words get jumbled up in my head sometimes. So having even a basic prompt to help write my captions like that on the like basic level has helped me so much. And even just like as a point of reference, right? And I don't know why people copy and paste things like as is, like from ChatGPT. You always want to put your own component on it, but having it get you like 75, 80% there, like has
Yeah.
been really helpful for people like me who like writing has not never been my strength, and you want to play to your strengths and the things that you're not as good at, like you want tools to do that. And at the most basic level, I use it for writing caption
Oh, it's still,
and
that's
emails.
amazing. Because you do that a lot online, and that's really helped you incorporate in something that you do existingly. You
Yeah,
injected in LLM model to just smoothen out the process.
yeah. So I'm happy for that. It's made me more efficient, and then also just like in terms of checking your work, or I just feel like it's just another tool. It's another sounding board, right? Like what you do with the output of that information is still your decision. Like there's still the level of strategy that that you need. But now I feel that with AI and ChatGPT specifically helping me with the more like administrative stuff, it just frees up my mind to be more strategic and level up my own skill set. So
Is
I
chat your
really like
favorite
it.
model right now?
It is. It is. It's the easiest one. I do have, I had like some other ones downloaded. There was one, it's like a Google. It was almost like,
Gemini?
instead of, yes, no, not Gemini. There was some, I'll find. But it was more about like, just like another web browser that
Hmm.
was more geared
Perplexity.
toward. Yes, that one. That was the one.
Perplexity is amazing. Well, I like Perplexity's, they have the deep research. So
Hmm.
the problems with these models are, and I'll walk you through some of the problems that I'm seeing. I think models right now, the the rate of acceleration is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
It's so mind blowing to me how fast things improve.
Yep.
And I am plugged in into this world, and I'm
I love it.
getting overwhelmed with the amount of improvements that are happening. Breakthroughs are happening on a daily basis, right? Every time a new model
Yeah.
comes out, it's the best model in the world.
Yeah, it's insane. I read somewhere though that people should stop saying like typing like thank you and please or something because it's like taking up too much processing power. It's like
Yeah,
if people just stop saying thank you and please, it would just like save so much in like processing
well,
power.
I think that if you're talking about prompting and you're
Mm-hmm.
going online and looking at the best prompting models, the best way to understand prompting is actually to prompt.
Yeah.
So you spent a day creating, if you incorporated a model into your process and you spent the entire day working with the model, you'll understand the limitations of your existing prompt. That's what
Yeah.
I found. So
Yeah.
initially, my favorite model is Claude. I love Claude. Claude's
Yeah.
my
I
favorite
haven't
model.
used it yet. Okay.
It's the
I need
best
to.
writing model. It's the best code review model, in my opinion. Claude has
Nice.
deep research now. So now I have
Wow.
subscriptions for so many different models. And I'm like, should I get rid of my Perplexity? Because Perplexity is better for deep research. But so I use Claude, and I was using it to create, using it to research, I guess, different compliance laws, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And initially, when I was using Claude, I found that they innately they give you above and beyond what's required, that model.
Ah,
For whatever
okay.
reason, it'll give you
Yeah.
more than what the actual laws are.
Okay.
And as you know, as you start using, you figure out kind of what the tendencies of the models are, and it changes the way that you prompt the model, and you have to preemptively tell the model, I don't want this, I want this, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll see kind of how much better it is after
And it
using for an
remembers
extended
it.
period of time. It
Yeah.
doesn't
It
remember it. There are
Oh,
things that
does
you
it?
can do that can set the
Okay.
model. I'm a little bit lazy on that, but you get better, right? You understand the limitations because oftentimes I think models are probably 80% right, and if you take it for
Mm-hmm.
face value, you're screwed. So
Yeah.
there's an element of you do have to review
Yeah.
what it's spitting
Of
out,
course.
and
Of
it's
course.
so important to do that and not take it for face value. But
Yeah.
it's helped me tremendously. I was going through a tax audit,
Ah,
right?
okay.
And I'll tell you the story. I sold my condo in 2021. It was
Mm-hmm.
a pre-sale. We decided there was a huge delay in the build, and we didn't want to wait until it built. So I sold it to move into Brentwood. And when I sold it, I didn't collect GST.
Mm-hmm.
And that CRA came back. GST for
People
people
listening.
that don't know, it's General Service Act. So when you sell something, you have to collect and remit it to the government. It's kind of like a value-added tax in Europe. I didn't collect GST because I'm like, I don't need
Mm-hmm.
to. I'm not a builder.
Yeah.
CRA came back and said, hey, you owe us 20 something thousand dollars because you didn't collect GST on this.
Oh
And I was
my
like,
God.
this is bullshit. I
Yeah.
I was gonna live in it. I didn't live in
Yeah.
it because of this delay during the pandemic. And I
Yeah.
leveraged Claude to look into case law to
Wow.
figure out what the best position is. Because
Wow.
I've objected to this. And I wouldn't have been
Wow.
able to do that because I would have to go in and read the case law myself. So it is extremely powerful for certain functions in what you do. And I think that as we go on and as the LLM models improve, you're going to see consultants probably
Hmm.
lose a lot of footing in where we're heading. Yeah.
Well, good thing we're not in the consulting business, Tommy.
Yeah. So do you're in a unique I think you're in a really, really unique position in our industry because you've worked for quite a few technology platforms and you've helped a
Yeah.
lot of businesses since the infancy of of the cannabis industry. Where do
Thank
you
you.
see AI? Where do you see the 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 biggest opportunities for us
Hmm.
as we're
On the
incorporating
AI
this
side?
technology
Yeah.
into practice?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, I've already seen AI specific tech companies coming up in the cannabis space. The most common scenario I see is for like either rating and reviews or like a virtual bud tender. Like imagine just like a chat bot, right? But
Hmm.
just some, having like let's say you are on a dispensary's website and you could have a virtual bud tender come up and say like, "Oh, can I help you look for some product?" And it can ask you a few questions, and based on that, the search results, it can narrow that down. So really mimicking a very similar experience you might have in store, but using AI to do that. So I've seen several renditions of those and just like very, like very specific companies that they just focus on the AI component. However, I think where it's trending is, just a lot of the tech companies, even, companies like Kaya utilizing AI not only to build and optimize their core, software component and just be more efficient when developing new features, when doing regression testing, just the day-to-day operational efficiencies. But I do see software companies incorporating AI and having AI specific features like moving forward, and having that power their recommendation engine, powering reviews, things that maybe historically would have taken a long time to collect and utilize, but just having AI be part of the feature set moving forward.
Yeah, it's I think technology now has been democratized, and it's crazy where
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really matter how big or small you are, you have access to the same LLM models, right? And which
Yeah,
is it's such a
it's
wonderful
crazy.
place to live in.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to create a digital bud tender yourself as a
Mm-hmm.
dispensary, you can.
Yeah.
You can totally do that. You set up a reg system, you make sure that you have the right information from your suppliers, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of optimize what's required when you intake inventory,
Yeah.
and you can train your model to provide your customers with the right data set of information, and then leverage that to train your budtenders as well, which is amazing. But
Yeah.
the really great thing is, and what you mentioned is software companies now can embed that into their platform so that
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to do that work. And that's where
Yeah.
I think software companies can come in is, hey, we can build this in our existing infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
to save you the work, but also to streamline a lot of the processes, that you would
Yeah.
probably have to do yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And even like on the sales side, right, and the business development side, there's AI operational efficiencies that you can use to to do your outreach, right? So, instead of just like cold calling like one person at a time or emailing like one person at a time, you can utilize AI and help, you know, blast out your calling list in a matter of minutes or even
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much. If I was a business owner, and I should ask you this
And you
first.
you are a
Yeah, I
business
am.
owner.
Sorry, I am. How would you think, and even outside of platforms, right? If I was thinking about, if I mean, I should say, if I was, we are right now
Yeah.
incorporating in agentic workflows in our process. What I find is the best way to do that is
Mm-hmm.
if you look at, do you, if you look at the process of any process in a business. For example, what is the actual step-by-step process for training employees or whatever it is? What are the major processes in your business for inventory intake, for example, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Business owners, if you're incorporating an AI and you listen to this and you want to leverage what's available to you, I think the first step is, do you understand the step-by-step process of your process
Mm-hmm.
today?
Yeah.
So this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, and then finally I get this outcome, this output at the end, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even that, like, I know we're just brainstorming now. I mean, we were talking about seed to sale earlier. So if, let's say if I were a cultivator or a processor, I could be like, I am a cultivator, I am a processor. I'll upload, here are my current SOPs. What are some potential gaps or what are some modifications in my SOPs now that, seed to sale is rolling out in New York, and provide some reference links on what the criteria is for the seed to sale rollout, and see what happens and see what spits out. And again, don't take it as face value, like you mentioned before, but at least it's a starting point too.
Hmm.
I've done things where I've put out proposals and I'll have my draft proposal and I'll put it, like, I'll run it through an AI engine that says, is this missing anything? Or like, this is a proposal written in the tone of Anne Forkutza, and we have, this is for such and such group. What are some areas that might be missing? What are some points that should be highlighted? And it helps you audit your work too. And we talked about prompting earlier. I've learned, like, I learned where I would put the prompt in, but then after that I would ask ChatGPT rewrite my prompts to be like more
Hmm.
prompt friendly. And it'll actually rewrite the prompts for you, like you said earlier. So it's constantly learning.
Don't you find that prompting is really helped me be a lot more clear as well and a
Yes.
better communicator? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you think about it, if you're providing instructions, say to an intern,
Yeah.
it's not going to be a one sentence instruction. You know, like, okay, figure it out, right? You have to be actually pretty meticulous in terms of what you want. You got to be
Yeah.
very clear in terms of what you want and what outcomes you're looking for.
Yeah, it has definitely helped me. I don't know if it's helped me in day to day yet, but it has definitely helped me be more aware to be more clear and crisp with my instruction and not add all the emotional fluff to it.
There's a lot of research online. If you're listening right now and you want to actually get into this industry and really dive deeper, let me know. Reach out. There's a lot of resources online that can help with that. That's crazy. So all of these models, guys, go out there and you know, OpenAI, fine. That's the OG
Yeah.
of the world, but you know, there's Grok. You know, download Grok.
Okay.
It's free. Check it out.
You convinced me, Tommy. I will download Grok.
Yeah.
I'll do it after this session right now.
Yeah. Anything else? And I know that you know, you're in New York right now. There's a lot of stuff happening in New York right now. You're probably extremely busy rolling things out. Anything that we didn't cover regarding the seed to sale launch that you want our listeners to know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say it again. It's like, make sure that you have all your team members involved, and just like mentally prepare yourself. It's like, change is always hard. The next, 3 months will be a little bit scary. It'll be a little bit rocky, but you don't need to do it alone. We have our resources. We have all the resources posted on our official BioTrack New York page, along with our New York help, BioTrack email, and resources from the OCM. So definitely utilize the resources, do your homework, go through the content, and questions are of course going to come up, and we are here to help, which is, and also thank you, Tommy, for just being a resource for the industry and for the community and giving me a platform to share some of this information, because there's a lot of, there's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of information out there, maybe interpretation of information that's also out there. So it's great for you to provide a platform to set the record straight on something. So thank you for that.
And before I let you go, how can our listeners find you? I'm sure they can. They probably all know you.
They can find me. Well, LinkedIn is one of the main ones. So Anne Forkutza on LinkedIn and Annabella Forkutza on Instagram. Those are
Annabella?
my main ones. Yeah, Annabella Forkutza.
Is that your full name?
It isn't, but Anne Forkutza was taken on Instagram. I don't know by who, but it was taken.
I love it. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Tommy. It's been fun. And I learned so much from you too. And I'm going to download Grok right after this.
Yeah, download Grok. Grok's good.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the KayaCast podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast in your favorite podcast app, or visit our website to access the full archive of episodes from the show.